And welcome everybody back for another episode of Come Play with Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Evan. With me, as always, is my sister Megan. Welcome in. Before we
Hello.
get into it, everybody, make sure you go to our YouTube page and so hit the subscribe and notification bell at Come Play with Us, Danny Pod. And if you want to hear, well, you can't hear the audio version anymore because it's all YouTube now. It's all YouTube now.
You'll just have to look at our faces now instead of hearing us, our melodious voices through the speakers.
Exactly. So
Yes.
we're no longer audio and video. We're just strictly video. So you have to go to the YouTube page and hit subscribe
I probably
and
should
notify.
fix that on our platforms because today I made the post and I was like, oh, just go and listen to us.
Yeah, you might want to fix that.
I'll fix it. So, yeah, there we go.
All right. In tonight's episode, we are going to review the movie Infinity Pool. And by the judging of our reactions of our faces, we'll just get right into it. Infinity Pool is a 2023 science fiction horror film written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg. And if that last name's kind of familiar, well, he's the son of legendary filmmaker David Cronenberg. Infinity Pool also stars as Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, and Cleopatra Coleman.
Mhm.
Film follows a struggling writer and his wife on a vacation who, after an accident, discovers the country's dark culture. You know when you watch a film and the trailer looks intriguing,
Uh-huh.
and then when you watch the movie,
Uh-huh.
you kind of you look back in your life and there's questions where times of regret.
Lots of times of regrets.
Well, this is one of those times where that's happened.
How long was this movie?
I don't remember. I tuned out halfway through it, to be honest with you.
I almost stopped halfway through.
Yeah.
For
And
those
then
who-
listen, I know. Look, you have a lot to live up to when you have the last name of Cronenberg.
You
do.
do.
You
do,
have
most
a
definitely.
lot. You have a lot to live up to when you have that last name. And how do I put this?
Just
It's like he was trying way too hard to be like his dad, and then he might have watched like Twin Peaks and Blue Velvet a few times too many.
And then decided to put like Midsummer in the middle of this.
Yeah, and then that part too with the clones. Like every time there was a clone, you know that part in Austin Powers where Frog goes, "Send in the clones!" That's what I wanted to. That's why I wanted to scream out every time.
But you got to do it in a German voice though. Send in the clones!
Clones! Yeah, that. That was every time.
Oh, there was one of the clones right there.
Yeah.
That's another one apparently that he's hitting. Oh,
And
there she is.
Look, it's a great cast. Alexander Skarsgård is a very good actor. He's been in lots of good things. Mia Goth,
Yes.
we'll get to her in a minute.
Cleopatra, she's fantastic.
She's good in it too, and there's a lot of other bit players that you've seen in other horror films that are in it as well.
Yes.
I just think this movie, it tries too hard.
Yes.
Stylistically, it tries too hard. The premise, it's like we've seen this before. You know what I mean?
Well,
We've seen it done before.
It's several recycled movies into one.
Right.
And, I gave the benefit of the doubt when I first started watching it. And it's literally like multiple movies
Yes.
just thrown up on the screen.
Copy and pasted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That scene. Look, it's I know what you did last summer.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And boom, and throw Hostel in there, and throw. It just.
So let me give you a little bit of a breakdown what I'm reading at right now. So basically, if you type in Infinity Pool the movie, not Infinity Pool because it pulls up an actual pool. It
Infinity War.
Or Infinity War. It says why you should watch this or why watch, and it says ominous, hedonistic, and suspenseful. Do you agree with any of those descriptions?
I could see the ominous.
Oh wow, there was thunder. Oh, there's thunder in the background. That shows how fucked up
See,
this
there you
is.
go. That shows you that you should not watch this movie. Like, there's okay, so there are parts of the movie where it is filmed. Like, I like the some of the parts where it's filmed at like the just like the bright colors and stuff like that. It almost seems like you're in a dream sometimes in this movie. Like,
It's like you took too much fucking acid and now you're in a
yes,
fucking movie. Like
thank you. That's
that.
what I was trying to get across.
That's
Yes.
literally what this movie is. And for those who have ever seen Ari Aster's Midsummer, it reads like that type of movie. Or oh my god, what is that older '90s movie that kept just repeating over and over again? It's like one of those type of movies where it's the same scene but in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Like, I love Alexander Skarsgård. I think he's an amazing actor, but he played such a fucking pussy in this movie.
You know what, Megan? You know what this movie reminds me of?
What?
It almost reminds me of Lost Highway.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean. It almost reminds me of
Wow.
Lost Highway, and that's why while I was watching this, it was like you're watching almost like a loose remake of Lost Highway and Twin Peaks, all those movies like thrown into this.
I agree.
Okay,
I agree most definitely on that one.
yeah, because it just the stylistic way it was filmed, and then just kind of the premise of it was like we've seen this before, man. Like we've seen all this.
Yeah, we've seen this movie. Now, I will say that this is a if you are a fan of Cronenberg movies, which I actually really like Cronenberg movies.
Watch his dad's movies. Don't watch his son's.
Yeah, don't watch. But he tries to make this a Cronenberg film. Like,
Well,
he
yeah,
tries
but
to.
yeah, but isn't he trying to do that because of his last name?
One
You know
would
what I
think
mean?
that,
Okay.
but at the same time, like, you can, if you've never seen a David Cronenberg movie, it's stylistic of like society, because like the orgy scene,
Right.
And then like, first of all, that scene, that's fine, whatever. But after a while, I was like, is the disco ball malfunctioning? Like, there's too much shit going on in one scene.
Like, I'm so confused. What
Like,
am I even
somebody's-
looking at sometimes?
Whose ass is this that I'm staring at? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's just, it was too much. The frontal, that's perfectly fine. Whatever. I'm not trying to see like old man cock shots. Like, it's just, it was too much in a couple scenes. And my thing was, my initial understanding when the first movie started is they made one copy of him.
Right.
But no. They just kept, did they
Just kept making copies.
keeping him, and why didn't they make a copy of his wife?
That was a question I always wanted to ask. But remember, he was the one that broke the law. And
Yeah, but so did those 5 or 6 other fucking people that were there. Like, what? She was in that car, so why
Right.
wouldn't they?
so you're saying, if she was she's an accessory to a murder, she should be cloned too?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Maybe the laws are different where they.
They're in a fucking well, obviously it's different. They're in a fucking
Right.
foreign country, and everybody's just, just so you don't get killed, we're just gonna make a copy. Just
A copy of a copy
a copy of a copy of a copy.
of
And
a
then-
copy.
And then after the first killing of the first Alexander, excuse my nostrils, you have where they're all sitting in that area, and the doctor goes, have you ever scared that it was the wrong one that they killed?
Right.
Okay. Wouldn't you know?
Yeah, wouldn't you know you're not the clone? Send in the clones!
Send in the clones! Like, how would you not know that you're the clone?
You? Yeah, wouldn't you not know you're you? Yeah. See, that also rips off another movie I'm trying to think of where they made clones and the clone didn't know he was a clone until actually it was revealed he was a clone.
That's like 6 movies.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this movie to me was like we've seen this done before, but hey, it's not we haven't seen it in like an art house film type setting. You know what I mean? Although we have, because we've seen it in the early 90s with Twin Peaks and Lost Highway and all those other films that tried to be like that were lost like art house films. So it's like when I watched this,
Were you high when you watched this? Because
I wish I was, to be honest with you.
I almost wish I
but
was. Like,
although if I did, it probably would have made me like even more like tuned out than like what am I watching? And then should we get to Mia Goth? Because
sure.
it just seems like every movie now after X, I'm starting not to like her now.
Oh, I fucking hate her.
And now I know that was her real voice. That's her real English accent voice.
She's really fucking annoying.
Yes, she is. I'd rather her go back to the Pearl voice from Pearl than have her speak in her normal voice. Like, I don't.
She's ranking up there with Sherry Moon.
She's getting there, and I just hope when we see her in Maxine,
oh god,
she knocks it out of the park because her last few roles, she's really going over the top, and it's like, all right, you don't have to try that hard.
Yeah, like,
you don't have to like be over the top almost all the goddamn time. Like just
she outacted everybody in this film.
yeah, but not in a good way, Megan.
No.
She was at an 11 every scene, and it's
No,
like
I know.
let's bring it down a notch.
I know. Like, I understand. So this brings me back to the whole Sherry Moon zombie thing. This brings me back to. This is where she takes the baby role and she keeps going with it.
Yes,
all throughout the movies,
and amplifies it, which is
what Mia Goth is doing through these
yes.
movies now. She's taking the Pearl. She's taking the movies. It's a different accent.
Right, but it's her real voice. That's her real voice.
I know.
That's the. And I was like,
nothing against. Wait, is she? Is that really her real voice?
That's her real voice. She's English. Yeah.
She is English.
And
okay.
listen, we have nothing against English accents.
No, I have
we
nothing
think
against
they're-
English. I
yeah.
have nothing. But at the same time, I feel like it was extremely over-exaggerated, and the
Yes.
craziness needed to be dumbed down a little.
Yes.
just a smidge.
Yes.
It was too much.
When the one scene that when she's pointing the gun and just has that crazy look on her face, it's like
Oh, the bust scene?
yes, it's like you don't need to be at an 11. Turn it
No.
down. Maybe give us a 7 or 8. You don't have to go over the top. Like we get it.
6.5.
Yeah, we get it. But
We get it. You're nuts.
yeah, and you play nutty characters. That's your shtick now. But like, it's just gotten to the point where I get annoyed with her now.
Yeah.
And I had so much high hopes, and it's
No.
just like every film role now,
No.
she's getting annoying.
It was unnecessary, and the worse,
Yes.
the longer the movie got, the worse she got.
Right.
Like, it was like she didn't even tone it down. It was steadily increasing like a horrible roller coaster that you just don't want to.
You know those cringy TikToks that you just have you scroll past, but then you scroll back down and you watch it because it was so cringy.
I don't have TikTok, but I've seen them.
Well,
on
like
Instagram.
Facebook feeds or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are like that. That's kind of like her performance. Like you scrolled past it and you kind of got like the tail end of the cringe, so you scrolled back and then you wanted to watch it, but then you were like, why did I just watch this? Because she's so
I kind of
cringy.
wanted Skarsgård to beat the shit out of her. Like I
Yes!
kind of wanted. I wanted somebody just to even just lightly pistol whip her in a scene, like just to knock a little sense out of her, just so she stopped screaming.
Yeah.
It was too much. And then, like, I'm all for shock value. But, like, the last scene with her and Skarsgård, with the whole breastfeeding thing.
Yeah,
Come
that
on,
was
man.
that was.
Like, it was an unnecessary scene.
It's an unnecessary titty scene.
Aaliyah was sitting here watching this with me, and she was in the middle of doing something. She happened, she goes, "What the fuck?" I mean, I'm all for shock value,
Yes.
but unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
Like, it was an unnecessary titty shot. Like,
Yes.
I don't get it.
Yeah, neither do I. So, we do not approve of Infinity Pool. It rips off movies that we've seen before. Performances, especially Mia Goth, were undesirable and just over the top. So, if it's on Hulu right now for free, so if you get stoned one night or on mushrooms, and if you want it to bore yourself and just
Or have something in the background.
regret watching it, go watch Infinity Pool.
If you like hearing Mia Goth scream at the top of her lungs.
Or just watch Pearl.
Or just watch Pearl.
Because you'll get the same performance.
I'm just really kind of disappointed because in the first, like in X,
Yeah, great. She was great in it.
She was good.
Yeah.
But it just got steadily worse.
Well, it was good. She was good in X because she didn't have an annoying accent. She spoke like I before that movie. I thought she was an American. I thought she wasn't from the UK. So she had a great way of speaking like an American, and then her performance in X was like toned down. It wasn't like all crazy and stuff. She played like the final girl of it, and she was great. And then when you go to Pearl, it's amplified by 11, and she's like nuts in that movie, but it's like over the top nuts. And now with this movie, it's just like, okay, we get it now. We get it.
You could stop.
Yes, you could stop. So
just shut up.
All right, moving on to movie news. We got some movie news. Eli Roth's Borderlands. Yes, Borderlands, the movie based on the popular video game, will be finally releasing in 2024. I'm kind of looking forward to this. Borderlands is a really crazy, cool type video game I've played before. I think Eli Roth is going to do a good job. It's got a great cast. Jack Black, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Kate Blanchett is in it. Kevin Hart is in it. Gina Gershon is in it. Edgar Ramirez. Like, there's a great cast in it. So I think it's going to be a really crazy good movie. So that is going to be released next year at August 24th is the release date for that one. For that. You seen American Psycho? Great movie. Christian Bale.
Yes.
Pretty much his starring role that just kind of catapulted him into movie stardom. Well, there's going to be it's like a comic book adaptation, which will be a sequel to the movie.
What?
Yes, which would be very interesting because obviously at the end of the movie, it's left kind of ambiguous to where was this real or was this all in Patrick Bateman's mind?
Okay.
Of course, Patrick Bateman does show up in a couple other Bret Easton books and kind of here and there, but there's never really kind of any kind of answer if it was real or not. So this comic book is going to be kind of a sequel to that, and it will be kind of like, hey, this is what happened after the 2000 movie, which will be kind of cool. So that'll be coming our way in October.
Okay, all right.
So we all know Saw X is coming, the loose reboot, sequel, prequel of... It's another entry in the Saw movies. Anyways, so we got some first looks at Jigsaw himself, John Kramer. So there's a presence. They do have a premise of the movie. This movie is set between Saw 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. The story goes he goes down to Mexico for an experimental surgery to save his life. It turns out to be bupkis, and then then the Saw stuff continues. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're milking that cow for whatever it's worth. So
that cow has been milked dry.
Yeah, so that's the premise of Saw X. It'll be set between Saw. So wait, couldn't you consider this Saw 1.5 then?
It would have to be. If they're gonna do this in between.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saw 1.5.
1.5.
Well, it's not number 2 because there's a number 2 already.
In the middle of 1 and 2, it's 1.5. Saw and a half.
Saw and a half. Okay.
There we go.
Saw and a half.
I can't. I cannot.
Saw 1.5. Yeah, okay. Saw and a half. Okay.
Saw and a half.
Saw and a half.
That's what it is.
All right, so I know you and I are we're skeptical about the Exorcist requel that's coming up. There are some new set photos or news photos of the Exorcist movie that were just released today.
Okay.
There is the new possessed girl, the Regan character or whatever. There she is right there.
Okay.
We do have a release date of October 13th. So there are some stills of The Exorcist coming out. The Exorcist Believer.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think about those?
I'm real sketchy about this movie.
I know, so am I, because of our good pal David Gordon Green, who just butchered the Halloween trilogy.
I honestly, I probably will see this just because I want to see what the fuck they did to it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you are. I want to see if it's going to be on the level as Halloween, 2019 or whatever, the Halloween that came out. Because if it's like that, then I'm okay with it. But if it's going to be like Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, no. I hate you, David Gordon Green. I hate you.
He needs to step it up a notch.
Yeah.
Because those two movies, it did not give him a good name. And I know there was a lot of people, and I read a lot of reviews are like, "Oh, those two movies." No, they weren't.
No, they weren't.
Sucked.
They were terrible. Especially
They
Halloween Ends. It was terrible.
It was horrible. And so he needs to step it up a notch because, yes, Halloween is a very iconic and a wonderful movie, but Exorcist, it's based off a book, and it has been remade in so many times, and it's got so many other movies after it. But this is a very iconic movie. And you really have some huge shoes to fill for doing this. Like, you have to step this shit up. So I really hope for his sake that he's, chef's kiss to this.
Yeah, because this is going to be like basically The Exorcist Part 2 because they're ignoring Exorcist 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the heretic, and then obviously Exorcist 3 didn't really have anything to do with the first two movies to begin with. Which, honestly, Exorcist 3 is a very underrated movie. It's more of a psychological horror movie than like a demonic possession movie. If you remember Heretic 3, it was really good. You kind of have to watch it a couple times to get everything that you see in the movie, but like especially the last part of the movie, which is one of the greatest come out of nowhere jump scares of all time with the nun and the. But I do agree with you. You have this IP that's beloved by so many horror fans. It's one of the greatest of all time. You really gotta put up or shut up. If you don't, then you really gotta retire from the horror genre and do something else because
you just need to stop and move on to something else that you might be good at.
Or come up with something original because it just seems like he's just taking IPs and just I'm gonna create a requel of it and.
Yeah, but requels can only be done so many times. Like,
right.
It's just, you get to the point where you're like, okay, cool, this is the same storyline. We're just doing it again. Way.
And that's why I hope this movie doesn't do that because it just seems like it's doing the same premise. Because I mean, another little girl is being possessed, but how are you going to make it different?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that's what I want to know. And if it's going to be like it's going to be how many odd years like from the first one, which I thought it's really cool. They have Ellen Burstyn's coming back as the mother character from the first movie, but how are you going to implement that in the movie? Is Linda Blair going to be involved? Is she going to be in the movie? Because you can't have an Exorcist without Linda Blair.
I don't know if Linda Blair is going to be in this though.
Right now, so far, she hasn't been confirmed to be in it. So how you gotta have Regan's character in it as well.
It's gonna be really weird. I don't know how they're spend that. And if they're putting Ellen Burstyn as the mother, then this is gotta be what is this, her grandchild?
I don't know. There's no real kind of premise about it. So I don't think this new child that's possessed has any kind of like family tie to it. Because if you did, you have to bring back Linda Blair. Linda Blair has to be in the movie.
Yeah, otherwise you're just kind of putting because Ellen Burstyn is older now.
Ellen Burstyn, I thought she was dead, to be honest with you.
What? She's not that old.
Ellen Burstyn's got to be in her 90s by now.
She's not in her 90s.
She's got to be in her 90s.
No, there's no way. Hold on, let me look up this real fast.
I'm looking it up right now.
Ellen Burstyn, she's 90.
See, exactly. She is old as dirt.
So, but okay, so you're gonna. Oh, that's the movie I was trying to think of. Requiem for a Dream is what is kind of what Infinity Pool was. Anyways, back to this. But I don't know how they're going to do this with her because they have to tie it in with Linda Blair somehow. Yeah, they're going to have to because otherwise it's just not going to make any fucking sense. So
I don't know.
I
know. Let me see if there's a premise out for it yet. No, it's just right now I was saying a 12-year-old girl who was possessed by a mysterious demonic entity forces her mother to seek the help of two priests to save her. So it's like
this is the same storyline.
Same thing. Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Literally the same storyline.
Yeah, unless this is totally bupkis and there's something else, maybe a different premise. Because if you're doing the same thing from the first one, then it's like, all right, well,
what's the point?
What's the point of doing this,
You're literally beating a dead horse at this point.
Exactly. Well, that's it for movie news. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I got a couple things I do want to bring up. So there is, if you can pull up this clip real fast for Natty Knox. For those who have not heard about this release date is July 21st. The director is Dwight H. Little. This movie kind of caught my eye a little bit. It does have some really, really famous people in it. A small town babysitter and the kids that she is looking after struggle to survive a serial killer on Halloween Eve. Now, mind you, this sounds like something that has been done over and over and over again. But this has some really, there we go, here's the trailer for it. This has some really famous people. This is the director of Halloween 4. However, this does star Danielle Harris, who is one of the Scream Queens. It has Bill Moseley, Robert Englund, Jason James Richter, Amit Saran, Joey Bothwell, Thomas Robbie, Nolan Perez, and Chris Gert. So this has a good cast in it. However,
there's Freddy himself, Robert Englund.
There he is.
Yeah.
This has not actually been publicized a lot, but this is a horror movie that is actually coming out this month. So it
seems to me like one of these movies will be on Shudder or VOD. It won't be released.
I mean...
It looks good.
I think it looks really good.
It's got a fantastic cast.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really good. But I don't know. It may or not. I don't know. I think they may put this out in the theaters.
If it is, it's going to be probably to a limited run because I can just see this going straight to VOD. Yeah, straight to streaming. Like definitely straight to streaming. That looks pretty good though. Great cast.
Okay. So the next one that I am going to go over is Cobweb, if you would like to pull up that one.
Yep.
This one also caught my eye. This is a 2023 horror thriller film. This is release date also July 21st, which this month, I didn't know so many horror movies are dropping this month. Young Peter is plagued by a mysterious constant noise from inside his bedroom wall, tapping that his parents insist is his imagination. As his fear intensifies, he starts to believe that his parents are hiding a terrible and dangerous secret. There's young Peter right there. Director is Samuel Bowden. Screenplay is Chris Thomas Devlin. Distributed by Lionsgate Films. Produced by Seth Rogen. Exactly. Evan Goldberg, James Weaver, Roy Lee, and John Berg. This movie also, the cast in it stars Anthony Starr, Lizzie Kaplan, Cleopatra Coleman, Luke Busey, Woody Norman, Ellen Dubin, Stephanie Thompson. So some people that are well known. I've seen Anthony Starr in different things. He's the father. This to me, the trailer looks fantastic for this.
Yeah, trailer looks good. I've seen this. Yeah, it looks good.
So I know this definitely is going to be in the theaters. Producer of Barbarian.
A Barbarian.
My mama. It also has the directors from It, so that is another one that I was actually excited about and probably will see myself. And then the last one from me, this one hurts my heart. Deep. They're remaking Pet Sematary again.
I remember you sending me that story. Now, is it like I heard it was a prequel though.
It is a prequel. It's got David Duchovny in it.
Okay, that's not too bad. Right?
I do not understand why.
So wait, is he going to be young? Is he going to be like
I don't know.
Is he going to be the neighbor? Like
it's called Pet Sematary Bloodlines.
Oh, I see. I hate it when like horror movies do the whole bloodline title.
I know.
Dumb. Like Hellraiser did Bloodline. Like a whole bunch of other movies have done Bloodline. I hate it when a horror movie has to put the tag something Bloodline because then it has to do with like.
Yeah, I know.
I hate that.
I know. Check out the cast though. So David Duchovny, Pam Grier.
What?
Yeah. Henry Thomas. Okay. Natalie Aylin Lind, and Samantha Mathis, Jackson White, and Forrest Goodluck.
I mean, the cast is all right.
I don't know what.
Is David Duchovny supposed to be young Judd?
So it says in
in the ground.
I knew you were going to do that. So the summary is in 1969, a young Judd Crandall has dreams of leaving his hometown of Ludlow, Maine behind, but soon discovers sinister secrets buried within and is forced to confront a dark family history that will forever keep him connected to Ludlow. Banding together, Judd and his childhood friends must fight an ancient evil that has gripped Ludlow since its founding and once unearthed has the power to destroy everything in its past. There is no synopsis.
Count me out, man. I can't do it. Not first. You didn't have me at the Bloodline title, and then David
Bloodlines
Duchovny.
is what ruined it for me.
And then you have David Duchovny as young Judd Crandall. No, you don't need to go back because you know why? In the original and in the remake, he explains what goes on and what happens. Like you don't need to have an explanation about that.
I don't know if he's playing Judd Crandall because you have Henry Thomas.
Somebody's going to be playing Judd Crandall. Somebody's going to be playing a young Judd. Either way, you don't need to be doing something like this.
There's a trailer for this.
No way.
Maybe not. No.
Is there?
I lied.
Okay.
Hold on. No, there's not. But there's pictures. There's pictures. There's pictures of Pam Grier holding a shotgun. Foxy Brown herself.
I mean, that's cool.
It's not cool. Don't say that. It's not cool.
Just like the day with the remake, whatever goes in the ground should stay there.
Nah.
Just like with Pet Cemetery, should stay in the ground and stay there.
Okay, so here's the oh, weird. Okay, so this says that Jack Mulder. Okay, so it says that the cast playing Jackson White is playing Judd Crandall.
Okay.
Pam Grier is Marjorie, whoever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Henry Thomas as Dan and David Duchovny as Bill.
I no.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because if they're gonna have a kid play the young Judd, no. And everybody knows my feelings about kid actors. So unless the kid actor can go, whatever goes in the ground, just stay there, then
he's not a kid.
I know that. So no.
He's
No.
He's 27.
No.
Okay.
No.
Never mind.
No.
Okay.
Stop using Stephen King IPs. No.
Okay. All right. The last thing from me, for those who are following Halloween Horror Nights, I'm here to give you the updates. Another house has been dropped. It is The Last of Us is going to be the next house in Halloween Horror Nights to be dropped. I'm sorry. I backed that up. That is not going to be. It's going to be Stranger Things again. So they're doing another Stranger Things. There's Stranger Things, Last of Us, and Chucky are the only 3 houses that have actually been confirmed.
Okay.
For this.
All right. Well, I'm okay with that. I mean, I think with those houses that they have, I think that's going to be good. So I'm okay with that. I think we're gonna try and go this year. So.
Oh, we're definitely going. I already have my tickets.
Okay.
So.
All right.
We'll have to. If you get to go with us, we'll live broadcast from there.
Oh, we'll try. That'll be kind of fun.
It'd be great.
We'll reach out to Universal again. Tell them we're coming.
Yes. We're showing up. Please give us passes.
Okay. All right, everybody. On that note, that is another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast. Make sure to go to our YouTube page and hit subscribe, and also the notification bell to get all the new episodes that drop, because we're now just strictly on YouTube. We're strictly on YouTube.
You have to see our faces.
You have to see this, and then you got to see that in this as well. Okay. So we'll see you guys next time. Remember, go at Come Play With Us, Danny Show, YouTube. We'll see you guys later. Peace.